This video is a lesson in why you should not buy hyped up stocks or take stock tips from people, no matter how professional or well known they are. Also, you should not put all your money into one stock or all your eggs into one basket, because bad things can and do happen, and one mistake could wipe out years of your savings. So here's an example of that in actual action right now. I was just reading the news about Sears Holdings that they may be filing for bankruptcy before next Monday, because they have a bond payment due that they're probably not going to be able to pay, according to the Wall Street Journal article. Now, that got me remembering back to around 2007 when Jim Cramer had the show Mad Money on CNBC, and people would call in and ask about stocks, and he would talk about stocks and what he likes and what he didn't like, and he would tell you if you should buy it or not, and he would be real entertaining and shouting and yelling. And if you liked the stock, he would hit this buy button, and he would say buy, buy, buy. So anyway, a lot of people, took his advice. Some of his stock picks were good, some probably weren't. But one of the ones that stuck in my mind was when he was saying that Sears Holdings was going to be or could be the next Berkshire Hathaway. And the CEO, Eddie Lampert, who was also a hedge fund guy that bought Sears Holding and Sears and Kmart and put them into one stock, and they were basically going to try to do the whole same thing that Warren Buffett did with Berkshire Hathaway. And so Jim Cramer kept pushing the idea that these were the same thing. In other words, Sears was going to be Berkshire Hathaway, but here you can get in on the ground floor. Now, it wasn't exactly the ground floor, because at the time, I remember the stock was somewhere high 100s, low 200s, something like that. So anyway, I did some digging to see if I could find out exactly when that was, or find that video on YouTube. I couldn't find that video, but I did find an article from his website, thestreet.com, that was started by Jim Cramer. And here in this article, dated June 21st, 2007, the headline reads, Cramer's Mad Money Lightning Round. Hold on to Sears Holdings. And it says, Cramer urged patience with the stock, which he said could be the next Berkshire Hathaway. And looking a little further down in the article, it says, quote, Sears Holdings, more than any other company domestically, could be the next Berkshire Hathaway. Eddie Lampert is a terrific investor, and he's the brains behind Sears. I am urging patience. I don't want people to quit Sears. End quotes. Cramer owns Sears Action for Action Alerts Plus, whatever that is. I don't know, some fund that he has or something. So it wasn't just in 2007 that he was pushing Sears still. I did find a video on YouTube with Jim Cramer and James Altucher. I guess he was also a contributor on thestreet.com or something. So here he's interviewing Jim, and the title is Cramer and Altucher, One Stock to Own Sears. And this was published March 21st, 2012. And in it, he reiterates that, he's still a buyer of Sears, and he wish it would come down lower so he can load up on some more of it, and all kinds of things like that. You could watch the video to see for yourself. But now, in a more recent TheStreet.com article, this one dated September 14th, 2018, so not even a month ago, the title says, Jim Cramer, Sears is a moribund institution. And it says Sears is a moribund institution, according to the Street's founder and Action Alerts Plus portfolio manager, Jim Cramer. And lower down it says Sears is a moribund institution, according to the Street.com founder, blah, blah, blah. Cramer said the tailwind for Sears that other retailers are receiving is dwindling. And if you don't know what moribund means, it means at the point of death or in terminal decline, lacking vitality or vigor. And in the Wall Street Journal on October 9th, they published articles said Sears hires advisors to prepare bankruptcy filing. So not exactly Berkshire Hathaway anymore, is it? Now, to give you some kind of idea of how much money you would have lost had you listened to Cramer in 2007 and put a significant amount of money into Sears Holdings, expecting it to be the next Berkshire Hathaway going up by thousands of percent. Here's a chart showing 2007. I know there was some kind of splits or something, but the stock at one time was above 140, maybe closer to 200 or something like that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because you see the stock was, on this chart at least, it was over $100 and now it's more like 50, 60 cents. So whether you lost 99% or 99.5% or 99.9% doesn't make a difference. I mean, your whole investment is basically lost if you stuck with this thing all these years while Cramer was still positive on it. Now, if you look at this chart comparing Sears Holdings and Berkshire Hathaway, you'll see that Berkshire Hathaway is up about 350% since 2004 when this chart started, and Sears Holdings is down pretty much 100% since 2004. Now, I'm not doing this video to bash Jim Cramer. I'm also not trying to praise Jim Cramer either. The truth of the matter is people like to be given stock tips because it removes them from responsibility, because in their mind they think if I take a tip from somebody and it does well, then I could brag about how smart I am. But if it does bad, then I could blame the guy who gave me the tip and not blame myself. So it takes away responsibility from yourself, really. So the takeaway here is, one, don't buy the hype. When you see somebody hyping a stock or a cryptocurrency, whatever, when it's in the mainstream news outlets and all that kind of stuff, it's already too late. And so you're usually one of the last people in, and you're going to be holding the bag. So that's one, don't buy hype. Two, obviously, don't take stock tips even from people that are supposed to be experts, because again, you want to take these tips because it relieves you of responsibility for taking actions, responsibility for your own actions and your own money. Three, don't put all of your money or a lot of money in one stock. Don't put enough that it's going to hurt you if things go bad, because a lot of times they will go bad. But if you don't want to research, and by research I don't mean going up on Yahoo Finance and looking up a few pages or something like that on a stock. Most people don't even read annual reports, even hedge fund people and things like that. So if you don't want to waste the time, especially if you have a small amount of money to invest, it's not worth your time to do all kinds of research. Just stick with index funds or ETFs so that you'll be diversified. Also, don't fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Because the only people that are getting rich on get-rich-quick schemes are the people that are selling you the dream. They're getting rich, you won't. You're the one that's going to end up poor. Also, one thing I wanted to mention is that people have a short memory, and that's what Wall Street and investment advisors count on. Because look at Cramer. He was pumping this thing up in 2007, but now in 2018, he's saying, oh, yeah, this is a dead stock and, it's going to die and all this stuff, right? But he doesn't say anything like, wow, I really hope people didn't listen to me in 2007 and 2012 and whenever else I was hyping this stock, um, because people might have lost a lot of money by following me, and I'm sorry about that, or, And the other thing is there's ulterior motives. This guy, Eddie Lampert, is a friend of his. And so he wanted people to buy the stock because it keeps the stock price up for Eddie Lampert. Now, I'm not saying that he had any kind of financial incentive or anything like that, but you got to look at people's motivation as well. So this is a perfect example of why not to take advice from so-called experts, and it's another good reason why, if you're not an expert yourself, you're better off just buying an index fund or an ETF that's highly diversified, like SPY or something along those lines. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up.